everyone. Today we are going to learn how to solve the one-dimensional wave equation, that is a particular case of partial differential equation, with the help of separation of variable method. Now before jumping into the mathematics, let's understand why we need to study this concept, where it is used, and how partial differential equation helps us to solve the real life problem. To understand this, let's take a very simple example of a guitar string. So consider this image. Here we have the string fixed at the two end points. Let it call B as A and this is as the B. When the string is at the rest, it stay in the straight line. So this straight line is called as the equilibrium position. Now suppose we pull or pluck the string. Because of this, the string move up and down. This movement is called as a displacement. So here we represent this displacement by the y and the position at the point of the string is represented by the x. So we can write this as a y of x comma t, where y stands for the displacement and x stands for the position, whereas t stands for the time. Now the important idea is we are observing how the string behaves with respect to the time. So at t is equal to 0, what is the shape of the string? At t is equal to t by 4, how much it has moved? And at the time t is equal to 2, what is the displacement? And so on. So basically we are studying how much the string is displaced at the position x with respect to the different time. Also, we release the string after pull it starts moving. So there is some initial velocity as well. Now this brings us to the very two important things. What is the initial condition? Initial condition means when the time is equal to 0, what we have? We have the initial displacement, that is the initial space, we have some f of x. Moreover, at the time t is equal to 0, what is the velocity? And velocity is represented by change of displacement with respect to time. That is, let's suppose g of x. On the other hand, we can define what are the boundary condition. Boundary condition means at the end point. Since A and B are the fixed end points, so the displacement at these points is always 0. It means every time the displacement at 0 and suppose the length of the string is L is always 0. So overall we are trying to understand how the string vibrates over time based on its initial shape and its fixed end. Now using this understanding we will move towards solving wave equation using the separation of variables. Now we will solve the wave equation using the method of separation of variable. Firstly, recall what is y. Y is a displacement that is depending upon the position x and the time t. So we can say that y is a function of x and t. Now what approach we are using in the separation of variable method? We are assuming for any partial differential equation, the solution is always as a product of function of independent variables. So here we assume y is a solution that is depending upon two functions, that is x and t, where capital X is a function of a position and capital T is a function of a time. Now we will calculate the required partial derivatives. So what is the second order derivative of y with respect to t? That means we need to keep x as a constant and the derivative of this is second order derivative of t. Similarly, calculate second order derivative of y with respect to x. It means t is a constant and derivative of x we have second order derivative of x. Substitute these values in a wave equation. So this results second order derivative of t into x is equal to c square second order derivative of x into t. Now separate the variable. Let's take the x factor on the left hand side and we can write second order derivative of x by x is equal to second order derivative of t divided by c square into t. As it is only depending upon x and this is only depending upon t and we say it is equal, this is only possible when this is equal to some constant, let it be a k. Here k can take a three values, that is a 0, positive, negative, and accordingly we are getting the solution. Let's write that. Case 1 is when k is equal to 0. So this results second order derivative by x is equal to 0. On the other hand, second order derivative of t divided by c square into t is equal to 0. More simplify this, this results second order derivative of x is equal to 0. Now integrate both sides with respect to x. So this results, here we have first order derivative of x is equal to 0 integration is a constant, let's suppose c1. Again integrate both sides with respect to x. So this implies x is equal to c1 into x plus arbitrary constant, let it be a c2. Now what type of this form is? It is a linear function. So if we have x in a linear form, its second order derivative is always 0. Same concept we need to apply here. Here we have second order derivative is equal to 0. Now it is depending upon the time, that is t. So from here we can say the capital T function is equal to some new constant into t plus c4. With the same approach you will get a linear function in terms of time. Now we have x and t. What is the general solution we are getting? That is the product of these two. This is equal to c1x plus c2 into c3t plus c4, where c1, c2, c3, c4 are constant. So this is how we have solved this problem for the case when the constant is 0. Now we consider the constant as a positive. So if k is a positive, let k is equal to p square. Substitute here and derive the ordinary differential equations. So we have second order derivative of x by x is equal to p square. On the other hand, second order derivative of t divided by c square into t is equal to p square. Simplifying the first differential equation, we have second order derivative of x minus p square into x is equal to 0. Now this is the second order linear homogeneous differential equation. So how we can solve this? We can rewrite this into the operator form. Here we have the second order derivative. So we can write d square into x minus p square into x is equal to 0. Where d stands for the derivative with respect to x because it is a function of the position x. This implies auxiliary equation we have in this case as m square minus p square is equal to 0. D is replaced by m and x is replaced by 1. What are the auxiliary roots we have? That is a plus minus p. And here we have taken p as a real number, as a constant. So if we are getting a two roots and both the roots are real, how we are writing the solution? X is equal to c1 e raised to power first root, let it be a positive root p, into the variable and the variable is x, plus another constant e raised to power second root, let it be a negative root, into variable that is x. So this is the value of x we get in the case of positive number. On the other hand, here we get second order derivative of t minus c square into p square into t is equal to 0. From here we can write the operator method as d square into t minus c square p square into t is equal to 0. where d here we have derivative with respect to time, that is t. Now what is the auxiliary equation we have in this case? D is replaced by m and t is replaced by 1. Now what root we are getting in this case? M is equal to plus minus c into p. Here c is a constant, p is also a constant. We are treating both as a real number. So in this scenario, the general solution is equal to some constant e raised to power c into p positive root into variable, that is t, plus c4 e raised to power minus c into p second root into variable, that is a t. Now we have x and t. We can write the general solution as the product of this, that is c1 e raised to power px plus c2 e raised to power minus px multiplied with c3 e raised to power cpt plus c4 e raised to power minus cpt. So this is the general solution in the case when k is a positive. Now let's consider the third case when k is a negative. So in the negative k case, let k is equal to minus of p square, where p is a real number. So here we have taken the negative real number. Now according to this, we have second order derivative of x divided by x is equal to minus p square, and here we have also minus p square. Now solve these ordinary differential equation. This results second order derivative of x plus p square into x is equal to 0. Write the same operator form. So we have d square into x plus p square into x is equal to 0, where d stands for the derivative with respect to x. Write the auxiliary equation. So auxiliary equation in this case we have m square plus p square, where x is replaced by 1 and d is replaced by m. Put it is equal to 0. What are the roots we have in this case? The auxiliary roots we have plus minus p into iota. Now p is a real number, so it means the auxiliary roots are complex. In the complex roots, how we are writing the solution? Suppose we have the roots as a plus minus b iota. The solution is written as e raised to power real part into x into c1 cos of imaginary part, that is b into x, plus c2 sine of imaginary part into x. So here a is equal to 0. So e raised to power 0 is a 1. So simply we can write x is equal to c1 cos of px plus c2 sine of px. Similarly, solve the second ordinary differential equation. This results second order derivative of t plus p square into c square into t is equal to 0. Write the operator form, that is d square into t plus p square c square t is equal to 0. Now what is the auxiliary equation in this case? So what is the d stands for here? That is a derivative with respect to time. Replace d by m and t by 1. So this results m square plus p square c square is equal to 0. Auxiliary roots we have m is equal to plus minus p into c into iota. Again we have a complex root. So we can write the solution with the help of this. The t is equal to some constant c3 cos of p of c of t, because the variable is a time here, c4 sine of p of c of t. So these are the solution we are getting individually. Now we can write the general solution, that is the product of x into t, where x is written by this and t is equal to this. Now let's take quickly a recap of the wave equation. We are dealing with a one-dimensional wave equation where the displacement is represented by y that depends upon the position x and the time t. To solve this, we have assumed the solution in the form of product, that is a function of x and a function of t. By using this assumption, we have separated the variable, and finally this partial differential equation is reduced into the two ordinary differential equations. Now, based on the separation constant k, we have discussed the three different cases. The first case is when k is equal to 0. So, in this case, the solution is linear in both the variable x and t. This means the displacement changes in the straight line manner. But in real life, like in a vibrating strings, we do not observe this type of a motion. On the other hand, if we take k as a positive, let it be a p square, in that case the solution is involving a exponentially functions. So whether the displacement either growing very fast or decaying very fast. But again, this was not we have observed in a guitar string, because the motion doesn't grow infinitely. And on the other case, if we take k as a negative, the solution comes in the form of sine and cos. So they are the oscillatory functions. So this means the motion repeats again and again in a wave-like pattern. Now connect with the guitar example. Now think, what about the guitar strings? When we pull the string and release it, we observe how the displacement changing with respect to the time and position. So ask yourself, is the motion is linear? No. So is the motion is in exponentially increasing? No. So it is actually forming a wave moving up and down repeatedly. This motion is called as a oscillatory motion. So solution that matches with the physical behavior is the third case, where k is a negative. So that's why in most real life wave problems, we take the solution in the form of sine and cos function. So from all these three cases, the oscillatory solution is the most appropriate for describing a vibration of a strings and solving the wave equation. So this is how we need to solve the wave equation with the help of method of separation of variables.